rain was lashing on the street, the midnight air was cold, when Barnaby and Silas came to steal the shopman's gold. They'd watched the old antique emporium for a solid week, an easy target, so they thought, of dust and boards that creak. With iron crowbar, swift and deft, they forced the rusted lock, slipped inside the darkened room beside a ticking clock. But as the heavy door swung shut, a click ran through the floor, and iron bars dropped like a cage behind them at the door. The windows sealed with heavy steel, the shadows seemed to rise, and what they saw within the room brought terror to their eyes. There was no gold or silver plate, no rings of ruby red, but rows of lifelike waxen dolls that filled the space instead. The figures stood in tailored suits, with faces pale and grim, lit by a sudden ghostly light that flickered faint and dim. And in the center of the floor, a massive mirror gleamed, reflecting something far too strange, like something they had dreamed. For in the glass the thieves could see their bodies trapped and bound, though in the room they stood upright with feet upon the ground. A heavy scent of wax and wood began to fill the air, as Silas gasped and tried to move, but froze in deep despair. His boots were locking to the floor, his fingers turning cold, his jacket hardening to clay, his skin no longer old. He tried to scream, but not a sound could pass his stiffened throat, as glossy paint began to spread across his heavy coat. Then Barnaby, with panicked eyes, beheld his shifting hand. The skin was turning smooth and white like polished marble sand. His joints grew stiff, his pulse slowed down, his heart forgot to beat, as numbness crept up through his shins and captured both his feet. They were not breaking into steel, they'd entered in a trap, designed to catch the greedy ones and snap them in a snap. From out the shadows stepped a man, the master of the store. He wore a smile of wicked glee and walked across the floor. He held a brush, a pot of glaze, a needle, and some thread, and nodded at the frozen pair who wished that they were dead. I needed 2 new window guards, the old man softly said, to stand beside the wooden doors and bow their waxen head. He took the crowbar from the grip of Silas' marble hand and placed it on a nearby shelf, exactly as he planned. He adjusted Barnaby's new cap and smoothed his plastic vest, and said, of all my static stock, I think you two are best. The thieves could see, they still could hear, but could not blink or cry, condemned to watch the empty street as weeks and months went by. The morning came, the sun arose, the shop was bright and clean, the finest pair of window dolls that town had ever seen. They stood in place, 2 frozen thieves, forever bound to stay, a warning to the lawless ones who walk the night astray. For some antiques are bought with coin, and some are found by chance, but these were made of living men who joined